Okay, I've got all the stones in place, and I am going to take some modeling clay and push it in there, try to get rid of some of the reflection off of all of this so you can see what I'm doing better as I do this part. So the next thing is to push the beads over, and before I made the ENSET, this part I would use a normal beading tool and come in and do it by hand so that I would have, greater control. The other thing that happened is with other tools, as you tried to work one of these prongs, the other stones would all start jiggling and jump out of place, or you would have to put wax or something like that in there in order to hold it, or some Vaseline or something. Then it's hard to see what you're doing sometimes because you can't really tell to make sure things are level and what have you. So now I can use power for that because I can actually just come in and give it a very slow pulse rate, even a one-time hit sometimes. And what I'm going to do here is one prong is going to hold two stones. So we call it a common prong. I'm going to push in and over this stone and in and over this stone. So these two and these two prongs will be holding the stone down, and the other two prongs as they go the other way will be stabilizing it, but they'll be very secure that way. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom up here so that you can see what's happening. So on the first one, I'm going to just slowly move that first prong in. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to come in. You notice I'm coming from this edge inward first, and then I will start to come over the stone this way. I'm going to turn this at an angle a little bit. Now you'll notice that as I'm pushing the pedal, you can actually hear the valve fire and then the pulse comes. So there's actually a timing that you get used to, and it becomes second nature after a while, so that you know when that pulse is coming, especially when you're doing this critical kind of work and you just, you don't want it to suddenly jump and take off on you. You can see even with one hit, I've moved that prong almost as much as I need to. You can go a little faster, of course, but again with a lot of control, moving it slowly. Alright, so that would be the first time through. Even if I did it by hand, I would push them down slightly, although I think most of these stones are already tight. But I will go through them again and make sure that I'm down all the way on the stones. Okay, so I've got a little bit bigger beading tool. I'll come in and manually burnish the prongs. And then any cleanup that I want to do as far as the flash and that goes is what I'll do next. And what you can do for that is, since the tool has this reciprocating action, you can actually come in and you don't really have to start pushing. You can just let it do that and just barely touch and let it trim that away. This way I'm not really hitting into the stone, dulling my gravers, and I can just clean that flash off of there. Even coming in behind the prong here, doing the same thing. I'm not really pushing down, just kind of letting this thing do that in the air so that I can trim any of this extra metal. Now that's an extra step that a lot of people just don't do, but if you want to do a really nice job, then it's worth doing it, and it'll make the whole job look a lot better as well. You barely need to put any pressure to accomplish this. Alright, so there you go. Close up, nice and neat. And once it gets cleaned and a little bit of just a touch on the polish there, it'll be like a mirror all the way around. So I hope that shows you some of the advantages. I'm going to go ahead and just make a trim cut around this now. There you go.